Are you ready for some smart, plain talk on politics, Israel, and the law? It's the Andrew Parker Show. Let's roll. Welcome to another episode of the Andrew Parker Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Each episode we talk politics, Israel, and the law. And of late, it's just been, as everybody says and recognizes, a very difficult time. A very difficult time for those who like to believe they live a moral, good, righteous life with certain fundamental principles of being a good person. And then they see Jews being gunned down in Sydney, Australia, just for being Jews. In Sydney, Australia, a place where, as I've mentioned before, Holocaust survivors went right after the end of World War II to get as far away from Nazi Germany and to build a home as they possibly could. And now this sort of attack comes to their doorstep. Indeed, this attack, the October 7th attacks, the many other attacks that have arisen in the last 30 years against Jews by Muslims. Well, you shouldn't say it's by Muslims. You're an Islamophobe. It's xenophobic comments. Well, it is. They're radical Islamic terrorists. They, according to moderate Muslims, have twisted the Islamic faith. Maybe. But these terrorist attacks are increasing, not just against Jews, against Christians as well, and against other Muslims as well. But most terrorist attacks around the world are from Islamists, the radical Islamic element. And these attacks of the last several years throughout Western Europe and beyond, in the Middle East, in Israel, dating back to the Intifada, and by the way, now decades later, still the call is for globalizing the Intifada, and that's what we're seeing. These attacks makes the case for Zionism and for a Jewish state. If anything makes the case, this calls out clearly and loudly why such a state must exist. And the only trust and confidence Jews can have that they will be able to protect from complete annihilation is to do it themselves, to have their own country to do it. And the Jews should have their own country in their ancestral homeland, having survived thousands of years of hatred, heinous atrocities being carried out against them. And this Jewish state is going to defend itself to the end in order to protect Jews around the world. Listen, you have the Holocaust. You have attacks almost every year. ever since the Holocaust. And they consistently get excused. And when Jews now start to respond and say, no more, we want to live in peace. We have given up land repeatedly and provided opportunity upon opportunity. But this globalize the Intifada keeps coming back. And those on the left excuse it. They claim, well, they were in despair. They were impoverished. And if you had to live with another country occupying you, what would you turn to? This moral relativism, treating the arsonist like the fireman, as if they are one and the same. Well, the EU has done that. The Dems have done it consistently. And as Bibi Netanyahu predicted, when governments like the EU, like how the Democratic Party, when they are in power, governs presently, not decades ago, but presently, like Australia, Canada, have made decisions and failed and have been feckless in the face of hatred, incitement to do violence in the streets of these countries by those who who chant globalize the Intifada, who chant free Palestine, who continually claim genocide when none exists or has existed. Bibi Netanyahu predicted it, saying that we are in a war. And you need to start to treat it that way. And in the streets of your countries, freedom of speech only goes so far. It does not go to incitement of hate or violence. It does not protect that. Whether we like it or not, we are at war for our values, at war for our civilization, and unfortunately, we must destroy the evil, the immorality, the hate, death, and destruction. It is not going to go away by wishing it away. Instead, this Islamist philosophy and belief system and the actions that they carry out consistent with it is spreading. And immigration policy allows it into countries that not long ago saw none of it. Now you have shootings regularly. Often, not always, but often in the name of globalizing the Intifada, of death and destruction against the Jewish people and Christians, against the Western civilization and way of life. And leftist philosophy wraps its arms around it, excuses it, allows it to continue, gives it oxygen. And then when these horrific things occur, like have occurred lately, including the killing of the Jewish professor at MIT, in cold blood. When they occur, these leftists come out and they wring their hand. Oh, how did this happen? We feel so sad. It's so terrible. They do nothing but wait for the next one to happen. For the next Australian Bondi Beach slaughter to happen. In Australia, it's not surprising based upon what this Prime Minister of Australia, his background, his connection, and his feckless response and leading up to it. People like him start the fire. People perish in the fire. And then they condemn and speak about their sadness for the deaths. They caused it. Now, obviously, the perpetrators carried it out, took the action. But you create that environment, it was predictable. And Bibi Netanyahu did predict it. And now, a word from our sponsors. A record of success second to none. Parker Daniels Keyboard Law Firm, the numbers tell the story. The last 5 cases our lawyers have brought to trial have resulted in million and multi-million-dollar verdicts for our plaintiff clients and 0 defense verdicts for our defense clients. Put simply, we try cases and we win cases. Hi, I'm Andrew Parker. At Parker Daniels Keyboard, we take our work personally and we go the extra mile. That is why some of the biggest law firms, locally and nationally, send cases to us to handle when they can't. If you have a challenging and critically important business or personal legal dispute that must be favorably resolved, whether regarding a contract matter, a business divorce, a real estate dispute, an employment dispute, a civil rights or defamation matter, plain talk, if it's a big deal, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com. Looking to reduce your tax liability and grow your portfolio? Consider Texas-based Texacoma Resources. They have been delivering results for over 40 years in energy investments. Investors may benefit with strategic advantages like depreciation, depletion, and drilling, but should consult their tax advisors for their specific situation. Call True North Investment at 612-968-3442 to learn more. That's True North Investment, 612-968-3442. Texacoma Energy that works for you. What is the Intifada? What is this cry, globalize the Intifada? And by the way, in Australia, there were thousands of people chanting, gas the Jews. I mean, where do they come from in Australia? Should that sort of incitement be allowed? If they were marching in black neighborhoods in the United States wearing white robes and hoods, burning crosses and chanting, kill the blacks, would that be allowed? Is that part of freedom of speech? And even so, is that part of the immigration policy of Joe Biden and the others around the world in Western civilizations that have had for a time open borders? So what is the Intifada? It's shooting at buses with little kids on it going to school. That was part of it. That happened. Blowing up public transit buses. blowing up cafes, blowing up nightclubs, murder, rape, destruction like October 7th. All of this, Palestinian, all of this, radical Islamists, started by Yasser Arafat, suicide bombings repeatedly, and if they could do it today, they would do it. October 7th, if we can do it again, we will do it. Their words. It's horrific. And the number of, in the last 30 years, the number of Islamic radical terror acts, events, incidents, are in the hundreds of thousands, many of them against Muslims themselves, with deaths in the hundreds of thousands. Several NGO organizations, they track this sort of thing. You can look it up. List of Islamic radical terrorist incidents in the last 30 years. So, what do we do about that? Well, we let Islamists into the country and they go to work trying to change our country. Are we going to wake up to this? That we are in a war, they are in a war with us, and the fact that we're sleeping while they're tying our legs and arms is not going to make the war go away. This is a war which is we win, you lose, or it's we lose. One way or the other. I don't want to end this episode on such a somber, negative note. There are some that get this, that understand it. And some of them are in power and control here in Washington as part of the administration. They understand it. They want to do something about it. Whether we want to be in a never-ending war, you can call it whatever you want, we have to address it one way or another. It is not going to go away. If you want to have diplomacy be a part of it, that's fine, but it is ultimately a military issue that is not going to go away. It may be that you can get these Islamist terrorists to agree to a peace deal, but not the one that Donald Trump put together, because that is not working. Hamas is rearming, not disarming. Hezbollah is rearming, not handing over its weapons. And Syria is now headed by an Al-Qaeda, one-time Al-Qaeda lieutenant who believes in the killing and destruction, or at least did. No reason to believe he doesn't still, of Americans and their allies, and wrote about it. So all of those things are ominous, but there are those in Washington who get it, and understand that we must take action against it. I'm Andrew Parker. This is the Andrew Parker Show. We will have yet another episode dropping early next week, the week of Christmas, as we are fast closing out the year 2025. And a few of our upcoming episodes, we will do a review of 2025. Until then, go to the AndrewParkerShow.com, subscribe, follow us. We have some great guests coming up, including Dean Phillips will be on the show. Melanie Phillips, not related, will also be a journalist and author from Great Britain, one of the finest thinkers on issues related to Islamic terror and the Jews and Christians. In addition, Rich Goldberg will be on the show to talk about Iran and why they're not in the headlines much anymore. Are they quiet, silent? Have they given up? Oh, no, they have not. Until next time, be kind to your neighbor. For more Smart Plain Talk, go to theandrewparkershow.com. Learn about all of your listening and viewing options. And remember, all the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. This episode of The Andrew Parker Show is sponsored by Parker Daniels Keyboard and True North Private Investments.
Did your employer make you sign a promissory note when joining the company, and now you want to leave, but you're afraid your firm will pursue you personally for that debt? This is Jesse Keyboard from the law firm Parker Daniels Keyboard. I recently represented a client who had signed such a note, and I was able to get them out of their $500,000 debt to their company, which allowed them the freedom to exit a bad employment situation and enter a much better one. Meeting our clients' objectives is our focus at Parker Daniels Keyboard, and in this regard, we win. Our experienced trial team of lawyers at Parker Daniels Keyboard have secured major victories in state and federal courts across the country and through arbitration. We have the legal expertise in all types of business disputes, labor and employment matters, real estate matters, shareholder disputes, financial transactions, security issues, and appeals. For wise counsel, winning results, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard, a premier litigation law firm that provides efficient, aggressive, and innovative solutions to complex legal problems. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com.
Looking to reduce your tax liability and grow your portfolio? Consider Texas-based Texacoma Resources. They have been delivering results for over 40 years in energy investments. Investors may benefit with strategic advantages like depreciation, depletion, and drilling, but should consult their tax advisors for their specific situation. Call True North Investment at 612-968-3442 to learn more. That's True North Investment, 612-968-3442. Texacoma Energy that works for you.